Click the links, join channel here over at Subscribestar. I got a mailbox if you want to mail me something cool. So Star Wars, ruined by the woke mind virus globalist cat people. Star Wars is about intersectional globalist feminist vagina theory. It doesn't need an audience to be considered successful by them. They gladly will subsidize this kind of stuff. It is openly propaganda. They have literally said in open communications, they were talking about comic books, that they think comic books should be used as propaganda and that the sales don't matter. And if you looked at these Star Wars people, it's that meme of the guy on the top floor of a building. He's the one guy that makes a reasonable suggestion and they toss him out the window. If you were with these people and said, yeah, we're going to honor the artist's original vision, Lucas's vision, we're going to tell the story, or Tolkien's for Rings of Power, in keeping with the spirit of the story, they look at you like, you're kidding, right? That's not why we got into movies, to honor the artist's original vision. Yeah, we'll go, yeah, we're going to do that because, we feel if we don't want to tell a different story, we should create something new. They just wouldn't understand. And that's definitely not what Star Wars or anything, any mainstream Amazon or Disney is now. So thanks to your LG for the Batman graphic novel. I didn't see the note that was inside the comic until just now. I'm going to do a video about the old Batman versus the new. Holy cow, what a transition from 1986 to current day. So the people in charge of Star Wars only see it as a vehicle to carry their globalist Frankfurt School bullshit, cancerous propaganda. What happened? A leaked trailer from the Acolyte, which is a upcoming Disney streaming show, which there's no way you're going to see. There's actually, I think, like a half a dozen Disney shows. Everyone knows the Mando, but there's a bunch more that came out after the Mando that I don't think anyone watched. So there's a line in there that most people are familiar with Star Wars, even casually, doesn't seem fitting in with Star Wars. Hey, and to be fair, even Lucas kind of gets a little forgetful in the 80s, where someone sent me a t-shirt of the original Star Wars, Revenge of the Jedi. Someone sent me that t-shirt. Thanks for that. So, the line seems kind of more fitting in with an obese cat lady in a gated community advocating for open borders and BLM as long as it's not in her backyard. After all, who will clean Alyssa Milano's toilets? That was her Twitter about like deporting people or something. Most of us looking at Melissa Milano are like, yeah, we don't have maids, so get fucked. It was Revenge of the Jedi, Lucas's original idea, and then someone reminded him, yeah, that's not really in keeping with the spirit of the Jedi that you literally created. It's about, I don't go with Return of the Jedi. He's like, that's why I have hired the best people to keep me in check. So the line is, it isn't about good or bad. It's about power and who's allowed to use it. It is a weird tonal shift. Let me zoom in on this a little bit into darkness and a soy-infused cringe from the fatties writing Star Wars, who actually hate Star Wars because it was written about the hero's journey from darkness into light, written by an Englishman whom they hate. It has three fair protagonists who they also hate. It's good versus evil, which is problematic for globalists because they're evil and deep down they know it. If you've ever had old English cars, you're familiar with Lucas Electronics. If you've got an old Jaguar or something. So they literally sacrifice babies to Moloch. Even in their deep headcanon, they know what the afterlife holds for them. A warm playdate with Feinstein in hell. Somebody political, is it too soon? No, not for Feinstein. Political cartoon about Feinstein going to hell, and then she tells them who she is, and then they open up the ribbon and introduce her to the extra lower stage of hell. So Yoda talked about the Force in a much warmer tone. He talked about life, growth, how we're creatures of the light. Deeper than this crude matter, there's a relationship between us and the trees, the rocks, all matter and energy. But in Frankfurt School SoyWars, they make the comments about power and who gets to use it, which is just the Marxist tool of sowing discord. Grow the tall grass so people fight amongst themselves so they don't notice your Byzantine machinations, like funneling money overseas or insider trading. So Pelosi makes $200 million. Same thing happened to Feinstein. Like, oh no, it was her husband. Yeah, her husband. Yeah, I get that. But insider trading means that she probably communicated that information to her husband. You get that, right? Oh, the SEC should investigate. Yeah, they should. Yeah, vote harder next time, guys. So the Empire, where's this? America's so over. Empire Strikes Back was actually a good story. It was a bit more than just a fluffy space movie. It was that and more. It was a solid story, but it also had lightning in a bottle with the actors. Stacked at 223, boys. You had a combination that is never going to be, or 12 bore. That's fine too. That's like a good compromise for people who are not really into Liberty devices. Like 12 bore is nothing to joke about with that 12. So you had a combination that would never be equaled again, and I don't think ever will be. The future of Hollywood post BLM riots is Pox, Wox, BLT, 4K TV, anti-white, woke, blonde man, bad cancer. Mainstream Hollywood will never make movies like the Star Wars trilogy again. That ship has sailed. They'll make big successful movies for sure, but only because the average IQ has dropped so far. The mouth breathing illiterate sheep will watch almost anything. I wouldn't go see a movie unless you paid me. There's nothing on the horizon that is worth the walk to the theater and the money spent. $16, whatever, for a movie. Anyway, oddly enough, my theater does have like a weird day where it was like $7.50. I didn't know movie theaters did that, and I wondered if that's a good sign. Anyway, if you want me to see a movie, Cash App me the ticket price and the movie you want me to see, and I'll see it and review it probably that night, because the theater's just it's like a couple miles away, walking distance. Anyway, I was in a parking lot once with an Australian friend, and it was a big parking lot, to my defense. We were out camping together, and we like gone to one end of the parking lot to get something. She goes, "Oh, let's go to McDonald's and grab a burger." And I head back to the car, and she looks at me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I was going to drive to the other end of the parking lot." I was young and fit at the time. And she looks at me like, "What an American thing to do." I realized, I guess you're right. I guess we should walk to a park. Hey, she doesn't know how dangerous American parking lots are. That was a long time ago. Anyway, so no, I wouldn't go see a movie unless you literally paid me the money for the movie. There's just nothing that's like, yikes, my guy, touch grass, like stay pressed. No, it's not boycotting movies. It's just there's nothing that's interesting. If there was something interesting, for sure, but there's really nothing interesting. Anyway, this new Star Wars is written by literal bullshies who hate the European portion of their audience. This is vagina-powered Star Wars. Men, they don't like men in Star Wars. The thing is, men love women for sure, but we don't want to see women fight. That's not what they're in the story for. That doesn't make sense to us. They're meant to make babies and wash dishes. Why would they risk their fertility running around with laser swords? Guy who wrote that line should be kicked firmly, and then I was going to say kicked in the nuts, but probably have to kick him in the vag. So then the feminist response is that women are free to do whatever they want, bigot. Or they always say, like, put your finger inside a woman. They always they value, all their value is that they think your only value is how you're viewed by women, or your ability to put something inside a woman. That's how they value a woman, because in their headcanon, that's all a woman has to offer is a wet hole. Anyway, yes, women are free to do as they wish, but we don't care about those type of globalist brainwashed women. We know what women are supposed to be, soft and cuddly. Yes, other types of women exist, but we don't care about them. Why would we? So you've got this BLT woman writing this stupid woman-centered Star Wars. Who cares? I don't think any of the streaming shows that they have on now pay for themselves. Oh, God, the cringe of these fucking people. So everyone was looking forward to Ahsoka because it had that chick who, the only thing I remember her in was she was in Clerks too, and she did a great job in that. But it seems like she's some kind of far left-wing woke nut job. Ahsoka was a massive cringy disappointment. I watched I could have watched every episode and reviewed it, but it's just not. I mean, the channel doesn't make any money really for it to be worth it. So it's like a channel like this, you just talk about what the hell you want to talk about. Anyway, it wasn't feminine, it was womanly, which isn't a compliment. So people say they love it online, but nobody actually watches it. Everything these parasites value is toxic to a story. Diversity and inclusion destroys a storyline because it's not what humans are or what they aspire to be. Because humans are tribal. Everything Disney does is the sinister path to subvert and corrupt. Their movies are only a vector to carry a malignant pathogen. It's why they bought Disney in the first place, so they could use it to push Marxism. If you want to push back against these vermin, you have to speak out against it. Diversity is cancer. We value tribalism and nationalism, our own blood. That's the stories we want to see represented. It's people on stage who are us, who look like us. Why would we want to see stories of other people? And, after how do I say this carefully? After the recent events, there's just too much conflict to push globalist storylines now. People are getting way, way more tribal. They want to see their stories, and there's just, it's not like, oh, you're just boycotting. No, there's just no interest in seeing a story like this, because this is the other. This is someone else, and we know it's like when you see a purse puppy, a Mary Sue, it's just going to be used to push some kind of blonde man bad narrative. And I only say that because it's in every single movie, to the point where if they want you to know a character is to be hated, they'll dye his hair blonde. You think I'm making that up? Well, go see Wonder Woman 84. Anyway, so you gotta just start openly rejecting all this bullshit. Let's take a look. Yeah, that two women talking about Star Wars. Star Wars is over if there's two women talking about Star Wars. You just got to start rejecting all this bullshit propaganda. Social media is there for you to crap all over these obese soy boys and cat ladies. Get to the point of get to the point where they block you if they notice you. But they will say, like, the defenders of the $150 billion Disney will go, yikes, my guy, if you don't like it, you don't have to say anything. It's like, no, that kind of got us to where we are, where people just kind of let people go their own ways. No, speak up against it. Oh, it's none of your business. Like, yikes, how does this affect you? Oh, God, there's a reporter who was getting into it with a far left-wing nut job, Kruger or something. And he was getting into with Scott Adams in 2020, and about how evil he's, this anti-white reporter, and how crime stats are all made up and all this kind of stuff, and crime in his town is actually going down, and people are totally exaggerating it. He got yeeted with 7 times 115 grain high velocity aspirins in his apartment. He was like, his timeline on Twitter is just a stereotypical joke, and like everything he said is a complete lie. It's like, no, it's actually white men who are very, very dangerous. And you look at his timeline, you're like, you just got yeeted yesterday. It wasn't by somebody who looks like me, buddy. Anyway, these are the worst people on earth. Crap all over these people. Let them know how you feel on social media. Don't just let things, oh, well, they're doing it to their kids. It doesn't affect us. It does, because we all swim in the same pond. Until we're able to separate. Inshallah. Hopefully we're able to do that. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. You can join my hiking club over at Subscribestar if you're in the at least Northern California. And I will see you guys all next episode.